touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Well, good evening, Sigma race fans. We come at you live here tonight from Texas for the USATrucks Western Division third race of their regular season. And this season's been getting off to quite a roll so far. We've seen some different winners. We saw a brand new winner last race out. And could we potentially see some more first-time winners in this series? So starting on the front row tonight, you're going to have the number 20 of Barry Yearwall alongside the 88 of Casey Nonico. Next back, you've got, unfortunately, the heartbreak for losing at Phoenix last race out. Led the most laps. It is Osiel Escobar starting third alongside Campbell Marsh, who's had a stellar start to the season. Borat Sagdiev and Paulo Ladino. Matt Yard and Daniel Voiles, number 81 there, unsponsored, but he's going to get his sponsor in due time. Shy Turtle and the 24 of Kyler Sestre. David Dixon and Taylor Cording. Gabe McDuffie mid-pack start here today alongside the first race winner of the season, Donovan Heist. And then you've got Matthew Hubert and Walker Bacon. Rich Roy and Miko Kunez. Billy Lovejoy and Paul Tabarini. Noah Hobson and Kat Durham. Zach Magoon and Luis Rodriguez. Lucas Holmes and Spinham Walker. Santi Messi and Bailey Parker. Chris Jaramillo and Jimmy West. Chasey Plays and Jack Davis. Jamie McMurphy alongside Jakov Rosovich. Jason So and Mark Walker. John Brinker and Dale Bush. Jonathan Sheridan and Davian West, with Roach rounding out the field here today. Gentlemen! 101 laps the distance here for the Boilermaker 151 USATrucks West Division. Haven't had time to actually score up points, so the points are not totaled quite yet. Might end up getting to it again this Saturday, hopefully. But as we can contend to last year with these 150-mile races, there's going to be at least one pit stop, whether or not that comes under green flag competition or during a yellow is to be seen. The pace truck pulls off, and we're getting rolling here tonight for 101 laps at Texas. It is going to be a good one, folks. Get settled in for the race here tonight. Barry Yearwall off to the early lead with a little bit of drafting help from the 65 of Osiel Escobar. And just like that, Osiel Escobar getting on the inside of the number 20 to try and take the lead away here. Side by side, dueling into turn one. It's going to be Osiel Escobar with the early lead here. The 07, that is Borat Sagdiev in the number 07 machine for the lone Holden on track, Jonah Burridge's team. Going to be interesting to see what the Holden has in store for everyone. Jonah Burridge from Australia. Welcome into the stream. Yes, hopefully they have a good night. Hopefully they have a decent finish. The 03 of Gabe McDuffie qualified well. And there he is already on the move. Up into, I'd say, about the top 10, top 15. Daniel Voiles in the 81 right there alongside of him. And Barry Earwall back to the top spot as he gets around the number 65 machine there. 4-truck fight at the front of the field. The 60 of Matt Yard joining the party as well. I gotta look back and see. I can't quite remember who won the race at Phoenix. That's right, it was the 22 of Cat Durham. Kind of a surprise winner. Stealing the win from the 65 of Osiel Escobar. And now this group getting a little bit bigger as they've now expanded to about 8 trucks strong at the top 8, top 9. Daniel Voiles on the move up into the top 10. He's got a good truck rolling. 8, that is Campbell Marsh, 2-time winner this season in Bridge to Cup. He's still seeking that first career win in the trucks, but with Al Bunch Incorporated, that Dodge machine is going to be hard to beat. Dropping in the wrong direction right now, Gabe McDuffie loses about 3 or 4 spots here. Last race winner, the 22 of Cat Durham, just now trying to crack into the top 15. Billy Lovejoy in the number 2 Chevrolet. GM Goodwrench paying tribute to Dale Earnhardt Sr. Kind of the rest of the field as we skim through it here. Dale Bush, that's the number 06 Dodge there, making his series debut here tonight. A few drivers with unsponsored trucks making their series debut. Hopefully to land a couple sponsors on the hood for next race. Yes, yeah, she does. Yeah, the 711 duo with the 11 there of Matthew Hubert. It should be the 7 of Spinham Walker, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, the 7 and the 11, both in the race here tonight for Reemergence Racing. But it's Barry Earwall up front right now, walking away with it here at the moment. Borat Sagdiev, I know, has been very close to winning here in the USA Trucks. Him and his buddy Shy Turtle. Shy Turtle got to victory lane before Borat did. And as you can see, Borat running second here tonight. Well, you don't have to look too far back to find Shy Turtle in the top 5. How about Daniel Voiles in the number 81 machine in his first ever start? That's impressive to have a top 10 out of the gates this strong. 10 laps in, 91 laps to go. And the 45, that is David Dixon. Some more international flair in the Sigma Series. We don't see near as much international flair here in the trucks, but, you know, sometimes the exception here, especially David Dixon from New Zealand. When you say Paul W. Paul Tabarini? Oh, okay. I saw Paul W. and I thought Paul Walker for some reason. When I see the W, it obviously meant W for win. Wow, Daniel Voiles up into the top 4 now. Making some big moves here. The unsponsored truck looking to run strong in his series debut. '11 of Matthew Hubert in the top 15 there, right on the tail end of the top 15. Casey Nanako from front row all the way back. Tough break for her in this early running to drop that far out of the lead. Man, Daniel Voiles, he's going to take another shot moving through the field here. Okay, so we have green flag pit stops on lap 16. Ah, shoot. Okay, so I had been doing some testing. Tonight's going to be weird. Our trucks are going to have a quarter size of the tank that they usually do. I'm just going to roll with this because I was doing testing to try and get the tracks figured out here. So we're going to see 4 pit stops here tonight. 4, maybe 5. So, yes, that's on me. I was trying to get pit stalls lined out in this in the Cup Series in particular. So tonight, just kind of an added wrinkle. These drivers are going to have to pit a few more times. As Sigma officials have actually gave them the smaller sized fuel cells for tonight. It might add for some interesting scenarios to unfold with who's got the best pit crews here tonight to actually take home the win. So you do get to see some extra scenarios unfold here. I will get it fixed though for the rest of the week. That was totally on me. I was doing track testing the limitations of the tracks and all that fun stuff. Wow, Daniel Voiles still top 5 here. And it is a new leader with the 07 of Borat Sagdiev. Still in a good position there. Barrier wall in second. Third place, David Dixon. And fourth place, Osiel Escobar. But here comes Escobar on the move. 45 blocks the advantage there. The 65 was making. Wow, hard drop for the 80 there of Shy Turtle, all the way back to 15th at the moment. Yeah, with the additional pit stops on the horizon here, that's only going to add more wrinkles to this whole race here tonight. Drivers are going to have to be on top of their game. I don't trust the ticker up there. It says Barry Earwall 1 lap down, but I think things have sorted back. Yeah, that's just a couple laps, running behind a couple laps. Daniel Voil's fastest lap in the race, though. That's impressive for a debut. Well, the 88 is going to go a lap down from front row to 41st and a lap down tonight. That is not the way you want to go out tonight. Leading the way, the 07 of Borat Sagiev and the 20 of Barry Earwall following in tail there. Osiel Escobar holding solid in third. David Dixon fourth, and Daniel Voiles fifth. They get around the lap traffic, the 88 truck there. The 88's going to be an interesting lap down truck because I'm sure it's still got a little bit of speed under it. It might have been a something that forced her to fall this far back out of line, maybe a flat tire or something that forced her hand. Double check and see if there were, must have just been a really, really bad pit stop for the 88. So tomorrow, the ARCA race will be held at Pikes Peak International Raceway. It has been a neat little staple on the ARCA calendar, getting to go race in Colorado at Pikes Peak. Of course, we're here at Texas tonight, and then Bridge to Cup is going to be running at a unique track as well. We're going to be running at Dover rather than Texas. The Cup cars are going to be running here at Texas at the end of the week. So Trucks and Cup shared the track here this week, but then Bridge to Cup and ARCA kind of going their own route. Pikes Peak on the ARCA calendar, and Dover with Bridge to Cup. Look at that, a battle for the lead. The 20 of Barry Earwall going around the outside of the 07. Well, it has to do with the pit stop coming from the 07 there, pitting from the lead. 70 laps to go. It's going to be a hard gauge here tonight on the fuel windows and whatnot. What we'll probably end up doing is throwing a competition caution within the end of the race here so that they get stacked back up. Not exactly what I had in mind here today, but it'll work. We'll make do. Top of the board right now, it is Osiel Escobar, number 65 Toyota Tundra. To say Tundra, I don't know what accent that is, but I did not intend to say that. We all knew what I meant. And the folks that are going to end up staying out a little bit longer here. Bailey Parker in the number 4. Luis Rodriguez leads the way for KBM. Cording Brothers Motorsports. And the 18 of Noah Hobson. Stretching it a little bit longer here. And that'll rotate our leaders back to the 20 of Barry Earwall and the 07 of Borat Sagdiev. Yeah, a few teams on top of the game here today with pit stops, making some quick pit stops and really nailing down the strategy. At risk of going a lap down now is Davian West in the number 58 machine and the 51 of Zach Magoon. Back to the lead. It is the 07 of Borat Sagdiev with a little bit of lap traffic in his wake. He's gonna, whoa, the lap traffic did not honor the leader there. Cut right in front of him. That's going to open up the gap, shrink the gap rather, for Barry Earwall to close in. I kind of get that the 58 wants to try to stay on the lead lap in case there is a late caution here in the run. But it was definitely a very aggressive move to be made when the leader is catching up to you. Side by side for the lead. Barry Earwall right there wants to get it. Still side by side, great racing here for the lead. The 20 of Barry Earwall is going to edge out in front of the 07 here. The 07 has to settle in right behind him. Well, let's do a through the field here as we're approaching halfway here in tonight's Boilermaker at 151. Currently running in third, it is the 65 of Osiel Escobar. Running in fourth, it is Daniel Voiles. Still, quietly moving into a better spot for the win here today. He got by the 45 of David Dixon, who's running in fifth. New fastest lap set by Mark Walker recently. Voiles lost that honor just a little while ago, it seems. Running in sixth, that is Donovan Heist. Seventh, Matt Yard. Eighth, Jack Davis. Ninth, Kyler Sestre. And 10th, Miko Kunes. And then 11th, it is Rich Roy. 12th, Taylor Cording. 13th, Shy Turtle. 14th, Luis Rodriguez, and 15th, John Brinker. Then you've got Noah Hobson, Bailey Parker, Paul Ladino, and Jonathan Sheridan running out the top 20. Followed by Spinham Walker, Jimmy West, Kat Durham, Paul Tavarini, Jamie McMurphy, and Chasey Plays. That's your top 25. Billy Lovejoy surprisingly not showing much pace here tonight, running in 26th. Santi Messi, Mark Walker, fastest lap in the race, and here he is running in 28th. So evidently found a little bit of speed at the back of the field. Campbell Marsh has dropped far from grace here to 29th. 30th for Walker Bacon, 31st for Gabe McDuffie, Dale Bush in 32nd. Then it's Chris Jeremio Roach, Matthew Huber, and Jason So. With Lucas Holmes about to go a lap down here. We're back to your leaders. They're side by side at the front of the field, fighting for the win. For the 07, it looks like he's pitting again already. The Holden not getting as much gas mileage as some of the other trucks out there, so he's got to perform on the undercut here today and hope that it actually pays off on the long run. Should be that everyone has about the same amount of pit stops here tonight. No one's really going to gain an advantage or lose too many more laps over the others. Barry Earwall making his pit stop now. This will bring the lead on to... Wow, everyone's pitting this time. New leader Donovan Heist here on lap 49. Donovan Heist leads over Kyler Sestre, Miko Kunes, and Jack Davis. Staying out a little longer, it's going to be Jack Davis in the Volkswagen. Jack Davis seems like he might be wanting to stretch it all the way to midway here. Honestly, I don't know where that last pit stop is going to come here tonight, because it might be like 15 laps to go where someone's making their last pit stop, or it might be 5 to go. There might be some drivers that try to stretch it. Yet again, I was planning on throwing a competition caution to get things stacked back up once we know all the pit stops are kind of done and over with. Here we are, back to our leaders. The 07 gets the advantage of the undercut each time. Stays out a little bit, gets a little bit more speed on the exit of his pit stop. But the 20, I think, is going to be warmed up here in another lap. So the advantage would go to the 20 of Barry Earwall after his tires get warmed up here. No cautions so far. It's been a clean race for the first half. 51 laps in, 50 laps to go. And I am insanely impressed here out of the 81 of Daniel Voiles, as he's still holding on to a top 5 run. Still very much in the mix. If you look at the advantage, he could probably close that gap to the leaders and still be a threat for the win here. Especially when the leaders have to deal with lap traffic just like this. Look at that. Some dense lap traffic that they've got to work through. That is 37th, 36th, and 35th place. And oh, the 55 slow off the exit of pit road. He's going to block their run. And that should help the 65 of Osiel Escobar get back up to these leaders. Wow, look at that. The 65's right there knocking on the door. Less than a second to the leaders. And you can look at the deficits. And Daniel Voiles 2.5 seconds back. So he could get back into this pretty quickly. Lap traffic is acting very, very difficult right now for these leaders. 2.6 seconds, 2.5 for Daniel Voiles back there. Barry Earwall to the top spot. Osiel Escobar up to second. The race continues to stay green here. No cautions tonight. And this could be a wreck waiting to happen with your leaders working through lap traffic like this. Yeah, this has definitely turned into a very different race. One that we kind of get a little bit of everything. Some lap traffic, some pit stops, some lead changes, and still have a good race on tap for the night. Kind of an experiment. The extra pit stop, the more pit stop ratio is kind of interesting here, as it gives us some more strategies than we would usually get in one of these quick 150-mile races here in the USA Trucks. So maybe we put it to a wheel and spin week in, week out. It's a yes or a no, basically. Do we get the four by pit stops, or do we standardize the one by pit stops? Just hit the shuffle button once in a while. Kind of adds a different aspect to the race. Some of the folks just did not show up here tonight. I feel bad for the likes of Campbell Marsh. Gabe McDuffie had a good qualifying run, but unfortunately the truck just has not woke up here tonight. Deep in the field, a lot of racing still to go for the second half here, but not likely to see them move back into a position capable of winning. Here we go, the 65 getting right there alongside the 20. Barry Earwall is going to have to defend now on the 65 of Osiel Escobar. Escobar to the front. Yearwall back to second. Between these two, it would be a first-time winner for either one of them. So considerably another chance to see some new blood in the winning victory lane here tonight. Yearwall right there alongside the 65 again. They've started to drive away from third place at the moment. They are gapping the advantage to Borat Sagdiev. Where is Borat? Borat's right there in third. Oh, wow, David Dixon moves up to fourth as Daniel Voiles falls back a spot. Most laps led here tonight look a little bit something like this. Barry Yearwall at 27 laps led. Second most to Barry is the number 07 of Borat Sagdiev at 19. The rest of the field desperately hoping for a caution here, perhaps, as Barry has definitely stunk up the show so far. Great run out of the 20 machine. Wouldn't expect any less from Trevor Ventures. They have a winning formula here in the USA Truck Series. And to reach out and find a new rookie driver such as Barry Yearwall, Yearwall may have hit the lottery by landing the number 20 seat for this season, as it could be a multi-winning truck by the end of the year. But we don't want to count our chickens before all those eggs have hatched. Obviously, there's still 37 laps to go. We don't want to jinx this race for Barry Yearwall, but it has been a stellar performance for this young rookie and potentially proving his worth, his stay here in the USA Trucks. Staying out, it's going to be Noah Hobson back up into a lead role here. Or rather, Miko Kunez. Jack Davis pitted. Nope, Jack Davis is the leader right now. Yeah, Jack Davis was the one that was able to stretch it just a little bit further than the rest of the field. So we'll see if the 17 is trying to make this race with one less stop, maybe. And throwing that one caution, the competition caution, is very much up in the air. I'm not sure if I will throw it, but it's very much a possibility. We'll keep the option available in case we need to. Actually just impressive that the one-off manufacturers are getting different gas mileage here tonight. Volkswagen looks really good, but the Holden seems to be a little bit short on fuel each of these runs, so goes to show the variety, the disparity between manufacturers here in the USA Trucks. Oh, there's a wreck, and there's a caution. First caution of the night. This is going to stack things up, get things a little bit uneasy, as the one of Noah Hobson's going to be out with the lead here. Let's go ahead and take a quick pause here to figure out what the caution was for. It looked like your last race winner, the 22 of Cat Durham, involved in the wreck here. It might have been exit of pit road. Miscalculation here. Be my guess. Yeah, it seems to be exactly the case. 22 misjudges it on the exit of pit road. 3 wide, basically, with the 49 clipping him there. Hits the outside wall pretty hard as he comes sliding down the racetrack now. Oh, the 8, Campbell Marsh with nowhere to go. Clobbers the 22. Hard hit for the 22 and the 8. Tough break. And then there's your leader driving through the wreck. And it's Noah Hobson on a lap all of himself, I think. Shy Turtle, Jack Davis, Luis Rodriguez, they were all about to get their lap back here. So I am going to have to be extra busy here as he is on a lap all of his lonesome, basically. Yeah, tough break for Campbell Marsh, dead last. Cat Durham 40th. And it looks like everyone's basically going to pit here. Well, Luis Rodriguez, your new leader. Unless, no, it's going to be the 18. These are the tail end of your lead lappers. Yeah, this goofed everything up. This is going to get wild. That's most certainly for true here, is how wild this restart's going to be. Okay, so resetting the lineup here with 29 laps to go. It is going to be Noah Hobson, your leader, followed by the 48 of Luis Rodriguez, Borat Sagdiev, Shy Turtle, and Miko Kunez. Barry Yearwall falls back to 6th, Jimmy West in 7th, Bailey Parker 8th, Rich Roy 9th, and Asiel Escobar falls back to 10th. Jonathan Sheridan, Santi Messi, Dale Bush up into the top 15. Jason So, Walker Bacon, Roach, Matthew Huber, Gabe McDuffie, Jack Davis, Donovan Heist, Kyler Sustre, Spinham Walker, David Dixon, John Brinker, and Daniel Voiles back to 25th. Then you've got Jamie McMurphy, Paul Tabarini, Taylor Cording, Matt Yard, Chasey Plays, Billy Lovejoy, Paul Ladino, Mark Walker, Zach Magoon, Chris Jeremio, and Casey Nanako, the last truck on the lead lap. 36, one lap down, that is Lucas Holmes, followed by Davian West and Jakov Rosovich, all one lap down here today. But leading them to the restart is going to be the 18 of Noah Hobson for LFG Motorsports. Then you have KBM, Cording Brothers Motorsports, right there alongside the number 18. That's Luis Rodriguez. Holden for Jonah Burridge in his lone Holden truck team here. And then Al Bunch Incorporated in number 80 machine. Mano y mano between Shy Turtle and his buddy Borat Sagdiev. Could be a potential race for the win between those two. One more pit stop is on the horizon here. They're probably going to be about 14 laps in, and then they'll have to pit again. So make the best of it. Try to get to the finish here without forcing your mistakes and stuff. LFG Motorsports, 2 trucks in the top 5 here, having a great turnaround here tonight. Look at that, 3x3x3 deep in the field. This could be a wreck waiting to happen with a bunch of these trucks. You kind of have the speeds all shaken up here tonight too. A lot of the drivers that were fast are stuck in the back. Might be a few trucks up front here that are a little bit slower than where they belong on the racetrack. So keep your eyes peeled for the accordion effect to actually really get insane here. But at the moment, Noah Hobson, no sweat, leads the race. Driving away on second place, Borat Sagdiev. Few of these drivers, this was that caution they were hoping for to get a shot again tonight to try and fight for the win. Miko Kunez wants to get up there and make it an LFG Motorsports 1-2. He's going to have to get around some of the traffic, but the lead is under scrutiny. The 07, Borat Sagdiev going on the inside, on the attack. Side by side, they drag race down the front stretch. Luis Rodriguez closes the gap as well. He's right there knocking on the door. And Noah Hobson has to slot his way back into third for the moment. Now Rich Roy ain't going to let him get on the inside as he's going to try to blow around the 18 truck here. And finally, able to settle in on that inside line for the 18. Another lead change brewing here. The 48 of Luis Rodriguez going on the attack. So make that about 3 laps, 3 different leaders. Went from Noah Hobson to Borat Sagdiev, and now Luis Rodriguez takes the top spot away. Man, what a wild turnaround for events here tonight. Crazy. Battle up front's not going away, though. These two are going to duke it out for the win. I want to go through the field and see where everyone's running, but this battle a little bit more entertaining here at the front. 18, Noah Hobson getting back into it here. It is kind of interesting seeing the 18 truck out there and not have it be Chaz Chadwick. Chadwick got the call up for the Sigma Elite Challenge, so no longer running in this truck series as of now. Holy shit. Pardon my language, folks, but Daniel Voiles has climbed from 25th up to 9th. Wow. That is some impressive speed out of that 81 machine. He had climbed from 25th, I kid you not, 25th up to 9th. Out of nowhere. I don't know where he came from, but he's storming up to the front like a madman. And the 20 also getting back into it. Yeah, they're going to have to work a little harder to get around these 2 trucks, the 87 and the 31. He's going to get forced high here. But it goes to show you, man, they are on another level in the speed department here tonight. LFG Motorsports sits 2nd and 3rd at the moment. And we already know there's going to be one more pit stop, so better make it count. As good of a pit stop as you can get on this last stint here tonight, it'll set you up for that final push to the win. And hopefully no more cautions. If we do get a caution, though, it's green-white checkers if they don't see the white flag. There you go. Daniel Voiles settles in single file as they got by the slower trucks there. What a crazy debut for Daniel Voiles. Yep, pit stops are already happening. A couple of your leaders pitted there. It is going to be tough. You almost got to go... you got to stretch it here. You just got to stretch it a little longer than the rest. This Holden was struggling to get the mileage. Yeah, and he's struggling still to get that mileage as he's going to have to come with 17 laps to go. 18's going to stay out here. I feel like that's a unfortunate circumstance. It's going to be tough to get to the finish here on 17 laps to go here. If you look the last time they were on pit road, -84 minus 68, that's 16 laps. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, dude. That's gonna be a nail biter for them. They better make sure they get it filled all the way to the top, or perhaps get another late race caution here to help stack things back up. I think anyone else that's coming after them should be golden, though. So, trying to find our lead group. It seems like everyone has pitted, though. Miko Kunis came way early, so it's going to be a hit and miss for the 13. Looks like it's going to shuffle back around to Borat with the lead, but he's going to get passed up by the 11 here. A sit and duck. Matthew Hubert gets around the 07 Kind of makes you wonder if the 07 maybe saving fuel here, driving a little bit slower, giving it half throttle. You got Noah Hobson. Well, all of a sudden, it is the 11 of Matthew Hubert leading the way for Reemergence Racing. And with 13 laps to go this time by, might keep an eye on the differential here in the top 5. Currently, your top 5 separated by about 1 second. Daniel Voiles lost some time on pit stops, falls back 2.68 seconds from the lead. But yet again, you still got to wonder which of these drivers are running around at half throttle right now trying to save that fuel. Know for a fact that the leader is not saving any fuel. He's up there burning hot laps, trying to drive away with this thing. The 07, he's going to keep him honest. He's going to run right up on his back bumper, and I feel like the 07 even knows that he's on a losing strategy here tonight, that there's no way he's going to have enough fuel to stretch it to the finish. 11 laps to go. And you can see the lap times for everyone else dropping way off. I do feel like they're in fuel save mode. Rich Roy may be on the top end of that fuel save strategy. Daniel Voiles still very much within range. He's going to have to close the gap to those guys ahead of him. Miko Kunez, Noah Hobson, and Rich Roy, with Borat Sagdiev and Matthew Hubert, your top 2. For your leaders, they're probably just desperately hoping that we don't get another caution, as it could pretty much sink their night. The 711 Chevrolet of Matthew Hubert, Reemergence Racing, leading the way over Borat there in the 07. Daniel Voiles has closed the gap on Miko Kunez. And now you've got a 4-truck tangle for the top 3 spots, or what would be the 3rd position. But if your leaders run out, this is a battle for the win. Voiles right there. He's on the cusp of being able to make it to the finish without any more fuel. So he might be sputtering across the start-finish line. He'll barely have any fuel left in the tank once this thing's over. One that impresses me, though, is Rich Roy. I haven't really seen him up front all night, and all of a sudden he's in a position to be fighting for a win here. Your 2 leaders have a 1.5 second lead over 3rd on back. But that gap, let's see if it stays consistent or if it's shrinking. Yeah, it's staying consistent. They're not really letting 3rd place catch up. Doesn't seem like lap traffic is going to factor in much either. So 5 laps to go. Matthew Hubert seeking his first career win in the USA Trucks, as is Borat Sagdiev there. Uh-oh, the 81 got up to 5th, bumping Miko Kunez back to 6th. So now it's the 81 versus the 18 for 4th position. It's going to be close. I don't know if these two have enough fuel in the tank. We know the 07 has struggled on fuel mileage here, and it's going to be the first truck to pull down pit road within these next couple laps if he doesn't have enough tank to fuel his way to the finish. '81 of Voiles gets by the 18. He's up to 4th, hunting down the 31 of Rich Roy. And look at this. 81's going to get around the 31. This could be a position of winning the race right there. If the two ahead of them run out of fuel, the 81, Daniel Voiles, in his first career start, could potentially be sitting on a win. .02 seconds is the deficit from 3rd to 2nd place. The race stays green so far. Voiles up to 3rd, even if he doesn't get the lucky break here that he needs to win it. 3rd in your series debut is very impressive. Hard to knock. Oh, the 11's pulling off. He's got a pit here with 2 laps to go. The 11 does not have enough fuel. The 07 goes around the 11. Here comes Daniel Voiles. 2 laps to go. Is the 07 going to have enough fuel to make it to the finish? Borat Sagdiev leads right now. Is the 81 going to have enough fuel? That's the other question. Borat, he's going to try for it. He's going to hold it for one more lap. White flag, last lap of the race. Daniel Voiles still staying out as well. So the 07, is he going to have enough fuel, or is it going to sputter around the backstretch here? If you look, his lap time, his speeds are dropping. He's actually given up the deficit to the 81 just a little bit. Voiles is not going to catch Borat, as he's going to have just enough fuel in the tank. He saved some fuel to make it to the win here today. Borat gets his first career win. And Voiles gets 2nd in his series debut. How about that? Bringing it home 3rd, Noah Hobson. 4th, Osiel Escobar. 5th, Barry Urwal. 6th, David Dixon. 7th, Kyler Sestre. 8th for Gabe McDuffie. 9th, Luis Rodriguez. And 10th, Billy Lovejoy. Holden gets their first ever series win as a manufacturer here with the 07 there of Borat Sagdiev. And just when we were talking up the fact that they weren't going to have enough fuel to make it to the finish, they surprised us all, and they had just enough fuel to make it all the way around the racetrack and park it in victory lane. So race number 3 of 13 for the USA Trucks West in the books here tonight. What a crazy race. Wild, wild, wild. All the way from start to finish. Great surprise with Borat Sagdiev getting his first ever career USA Trucks win.
Did you have any ignition problems?
Well, folks, that is a wrap here tonight. Should be a great week of Sigma racing on tap here with ARCA tomorrow night, Bridge to Cup on Wednesday, and then Cup coming up Thursday right here from Texas. So congratulations to Borat Sagdiev. Finally breaks through and gets that first career win. It was a matter of time. It wasn't a matter of when, but rather a matter of time once he got into victory lane. Proud owner Jonah Burridge gets to celebrate with the team, brings Holden into the sport, and they get to celebrate with their first career win as a manufacturer in the USATrucks. So new manufacturer and some new strength as they are already in a winning way this season. So starting to feel like this West division is definitely going to be the Wild West again. It used to be the Wild West the first year that we did it. A lot of unique wins and surprise winners, and I think it's fallen back into that trend, and I love it. We're getting ourselves the Wild West Part 2 here in the USATrucks. But with that, folks, I would love to say farewell for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the broadcast, and hopefully you can tune in for a couple more races this week and catch the Sigma racing action as it comes through the YouTube channels here. Great thanks to all of you. Have a safe night. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe out there. And until next time, this is Jakester signing out.